from the What a Weird Week show. It's our Weird Halloween special. This is Weird-O-Ween.
Hi, everybody, it's Weird. This is like crazy news, baby. Weird tales. Well, I got a great show for you today. What's so wonderful? Weird show.
Hi, friends. I'm Scott, and this is Weird-O-Ween from the What a Weird Week show. Usually, we're about the weird news of the week, but here are some Halloween stories for our Halloween special, All Hallows Eve 2024.
10.
Okay, let's get right into the controversial top 5 Halloween treats. This is not based on my opinion. Please don't at me. This is all based on the scientific research of the folks at Study Finds. Study Finds is a website where they break down the science, and they are constantly sifting through data and different surveys and studies. They help us better understand the world around us through their good work at Study Finds. Now, their team has compiled a list of the top 5 Halloween candies. I'm going to say it's not without controversy. Number 5 on the list is Starburst. And according to their research, the fact that Starburst makes the list is due largely to the pink ones. The pink Starburst, which they say is considered a valuable trading commodity during Halloween. The pink one. You've got M&Ms on the list. They are delicious. Here in Canada, we have M&Ms. We also have our Smarties. In the United States, your Smarties candy is a sour candy, but here in East Coast Canada, Smarties are candy-coated chocolate. That is different tasting than M&Ms, and maybe an acquired taste, certainly delicious. You have Twix bars on the list. They make the top 3 because basically the folks at Study Finds say, you know what you're getting with a Twix? Consistency. Cookie layer, caramel, milk chocolate. They avoid excessive flavor variations, Twix, and that is appreciated by the researchers at Study Finds. Then you have Snickers bars, and the number 1 Halloween treat. I think it makes it a list every year because it is the top seller, and also it is highly rated in Halloween trick-or-treating satisfaction. It is the Reese Peanut Butter Cup, the top Halloween treat. Later on, we're going to get into another podcast's results when they applied mathematics and critical thinking to what makes a Reese Peanut Butter Cup pumpkin shape so much more delicious than all the other shapes. And it's scientifically proven now, you guys. If you suspected that, it's true. Later on in this show, we'll get into that.
9.
If you're looking for a Halloween getaway, here are the top destinations for spooky fun, according to the research team at Study Finds. First one is Sleepy Hollow, New York, famous for the Headless Horseman story. And next is New Orleans, Louisiana. It's basically teeming with ghosts, so incredibly haunted. Anoka, Minnesota, that is where they have the big, we talked about this a couple episodes ago, the big pumpkin festival. They have a classic car show there as well. The pumpkin festival, largest pumpkin in the world, was won again by the same farmer from California. He grew a very large pumpkin.
How Anoka became the Halloween capital of the world way back in 1920. We had a lot of kid issues, tipping over cows, they were taking apart wagons, and the town came together to create this diversion of naughty behavior into what we now have 100 plus years festival.
That's from a video about how Anoka became the Halloween capital of the world. We'll link to that in the show notes or click shownotes.page. I'll stop there on that scary list of destinations, but there are more on the list, and we will link to that in the spooky show notes. Okay, next is horror movies. What you like in a scary movie may say a lot about your personality. Perhaps you're a weirdo. We'll get into that next.
Yes, who is it?
Special delivery.
Special delivery? Why, that's one of the best kinds of delivery. I wonder what it could be.
Oh, it's a lovely pumpkin. Oh, and there's a message carved into it. Why, it's a Halloween pumpkin. Let's see, what's it say? Dear Larry, we are over. Last night was a horrible mistake. Oh, there's more. I hope we never see each other again, but if we do, I will be carrying a sock full of butter, which I will swing at your kneecaps. Signed, Sharon. Oh, it's from Sharon. Scotty Brand Dumpkins, a fun Halloween pumpkin that also tells that certain someone it's over. They are dumped. That this pumpkin is the only one who will be around to listen to your nose whistle from now on, Larry. Dumpkins. Available in orange, white, and new for this season, smelly.
This is What a Weird Week. Usually, we're a show about the weird things that happened that were in the news this week. But today we're doing Weird-O-Ween. Here's number 8. The study about... Can we do something with the...
There we go. Number 8 is the study about scary movies and what they say about you. According to this study, children love scary movies, and then as we get older, we love them even more. That would be my summation. But what kind of scary movie do you like? Supernatural and paranormal movies are the number 1 scary movie on the list. And then psychological thrillers, a close second. Slasher films, third place. If you want to do a deep dive on this one, this survey got into different, what personality type are you? What is your Halloween profile? You could be a gore hound, which that doesn't sound good at all. But that is if you're the type who enjoys maximum horror. You could be a ghostbuster. That means you like the paranormal scary movies. You could be a kitschy classic Carl. That means B movies. Or family-friendly friends. Something you can watch with the whole family. You also have scaredy cats in there, which maybe Strawberry Shortcake, and that's as scary as it gets. My Little Pony, and then that's it. Even then, it's pushing it. We'll link to that whole study if you click the show notes or go shownotes.page.
Shownotes.page.
7.
From the Halloween scientists at Study Finds, here are the best couple costumes for 2024. So hopefully you're hearing this. The episode drops before Halloween 2024. But if you're catching this episode after Halloween, you may still want to try these couple costumes out. Just take them for a spin downtown and see how they play. I'll link to the whole shoot and match. Basically, Barbie and Ken still a thing. This is nice because you can be whichever Barbie you want to be, whichever Ken you want to be. Perhaps tuxedo Ken, perhaps Hawaiian shirt Ken. There's some flexibility there. Mario and Princess Peach also on the list, and Bob Ross and his happy little tree. If you're unfamiliar with who Bob Ross is, perhaps not popular where you're tuned in, or perhaps you're at a certain age where you're like, what now? Ross who? Bob Ross was a pop culture icon who painted many nature scenes on television and taught people how to paint happy little trees. Somebody at your costume party would appreciate that costume and think it was hilarious. You don't have to take my word for it. The science has spoken. All right, up next, some easy Halloween costumes. If you're in a last-minute costume situation and you're starting to panic, perhaps you have a party, maybe you're going to rob a bank or something, whatever scenario, and you need a last-minute costume, the brilliant minds at Study Finds are on it. And by the way, Study Finds, that should be your slogan. Brilliant minds, Study Finds. Last-minute costumes next. This is What a Weird Week. Usually, every week, we cover the weird news that happened. This time around, it's our Halloween special. Our
Halloween Weirdo. What's it called again? Weird-O-Ween.
6.
Easy and creative Halloween costume ideas if you're a last-minute person or in a last-minute situation. One easy one, they say, is also one of the most popular we talked about before, Barbie or Ken. Because you can throw on a tuxedo in your Ken. You can also just wear jeans and an Oxford, and now you're laid-back Ken. Barbie can have a sweatband. I'm workout Barbie. It's quite flexible. I'm going to add another one here on the list that the study finds people didn't point this out, and quite frankly, I'm shocked. The painter costume, let me tell you the story. One year, I was in a situation where I wanted candy as a young fella, and I still hadn't decided what should my Halloween costume be. And it was Halloween afternoon, and my father said, go get a paintbrush from down in the workshop, and he tied it to his shoelace, and I wore it around my neck, and he gave me a white hat and said, tell everyone you're a painter. And I did. I told everyone I was a painter because everyone asked, what is going on with the paintbrush and the hat on sideways? But you know what? End of the day, got my candy. Sure, it was a little bit phoned in. No offense, Dad.
5.
Halloween for dogs. The best Halloween dog costumes. Dogs and Halloween. I don't know how it happened, but it has happened and we need to accept it. And here, according to study finds, the Halloween scientists, they don't refer to themselves that way. These are some of the best Halloween costumes for dogs. Your dog as a murderous doll from the Chucky movies. Also, they have Superman on the list. I would amend that list to say super dog. I mean, your dog can be Superman, Superwoman, or whatever, but also, couldn't your dog just be super dog?
Wait, whoa. You guys, it's Scott from... Stop that. It's Scott from the editing suite.
I think super dogs is actually a copyrighted term describing performance dogs who tour the world, jumping through hoops and making fools of human beings. I've got 97 tabs open right now, so I'm not going to open the 98th tab and have my computer crash. So I'm just going to say I think super dogs is copyrighted. You don't want to get arrested on Halloween because, copyright infringement. Hang on, next we have a pretty cool Halloween news item about a young fella whose costume got so much attention, something great happened. What a weird week. This is Weird-O-Ween, our Halloween special 2024.
Honorable mention.
Just before we get to the award-winning 11-year-old costume, this headline came across our desk as we were researching. Halloween is very scary this year. No make-believe monsters as frightening as climate change. That was one, I'm looking for what's the top-selling Halloween treat, and I come across that article.
Climate change is scarier than Halloween.
It was a lot, you guys. All right, now,
Number 4.
11-year-old kid's viral Taylor Swift costume earns him Eras Tour tickets. A fellow named Henry from Kentucky went viral on TikTok, or whatever you call it nowadays. He shared a TikTok of a costume inspired by a Taylor Swift backup dancer named Cameron, and Henry's Halloween costume of Cameron the backup dancer got the attention of Taylor Swift's people, and Henry got tickets to the Eras Tour, the Taylor Swift tour, the biggest tour in all of the universe, because of that creative Halloween costume. Someday, Henry, you'll be telling that story to your great-grandkids, and they'll be like, you mean President Swift used to be a singer? I don't know. Maybe not.
3.
All right, if you stuck around this long, thank you very much for that. We promised a story about how delicious Reese Peanut Butter Cup pumpkins are, and what is the science behind it. So I got all this information from a podcast that went away for quite a while and now is back. It's the How to Do Everything podcast from NPR. It's one of the greatest podcasts in the history of podcasting. So this week, when I'm researching all about the number one Halloween treat, which scientifically is proven it's Reese Peanut Butter Cups, they did an episode. They talked to a 14-year-old mathematician about the science and the mathematics behind why the pumpkin-shaped Reese Peanut Butter Cup is the most delicious of all the cups. Here's a clip.
After finding the volume of the inner frustum of the peanut butter and the whole frustum of the peanut butter cup, I got that the regular is about 30% peanut butter, so just the regular shape is 30%.
Wow. And so where does the pumpkin fall?
So the pumpkin, I had to measure it in a different way because the pumpkin is like an ellipse.
Okay.
So the regular pumpkin Reese's had 38% peanut butter, so it beat out all the other Reese's.
Wow.
So that was a rebroadcast this week of the How to Do Everything podcast. They're back. I will link to How to Do Everything in the show notes. They get the answers. They've got the budget for it, the sweet, sweet NPR dollars, and they get the answers, you guys. Now, please enjoy this brief Halloween message. And now this message from vampires. Hello, friends. My name is Vlad the Impulsor. I am the terror of the East Coast of Canada, Secretary-Treasurer of the East Coast Canadian Vampire Association. This Halloween season, please remember that vampires need minions. If you're able to donate just a little bit of time to do the bidding of a vampire, it is greatly appreciated. Perhaps you're wondering, but
Vlad, I am just a puny human. How can I help? Well, number one, blood. You know, give your blood to a vampire. But also, vampires need running around. It's hard for us to get out in the daylight. So, dry cleaning, getting the ingredients for a nice meal when the boss is coming over and the vampire is hoping to get a promotion. Things like that. In closing, let me just say, you will be my minion. You will be my minion. You will do my bidding. This is Vlad, the Imposer, wishing you a happy and safe Halloween.
From the What a Weird Week show, this is
Weird-O-Ween.
our Halloween special.
Honorable mention.
I just got a press release from the Death Clock folks. Death Clock, the app that tells you when you're going to die, which I've seen this movie. It doesn't end well. Isn't this really a movie, a Blumhouse movie? I'm pretty sure. Death Clock, the app, honorable mention for sending out press releases just before Halloween. Good Lord, I don't know. You tell them all your stuff, what you're eating, how much you exercise, how you're doing mental health-wise, and then they tell you you're going to die at some point. Now, I haven't tested it out because I'm scared of it, because of that Blumhouse movie, the aforementioned Blumhouse movie, where the app takes over and pretty soon it's nothing but carnage. So, I can't endorse this. From the Toronto Star, here's the headline. It's in the food and drink section. It's an opinion piece. Here's what to drink with all the Halloween treats you'll swipe from your kids this year. And it gets into, what booze to pair with different treats. Some of these treats, because this is a Toronto publication, some of these are uniquely Canadian, I want to say. Well, perhaps not just Canadian, but Aero bars. Do you have Aero bars where you're at? If not, it is a chocolate bar with air bubbles in it. Perhaps you can improvise. They recommend the liqueur Amaro with Aero bars. They also get into salt and vinegar chips. What do you have with salt and vinegar chips? Vino Verde. Which, of course, we all know what that is. What is Vino Verde? Delicious wine. Of course we knew that. Because we're classy. Right, you guys? Our final story this week for the Halloween special, the mystery of the
5-pound note.
The lady who, we get the story from Lad Bible. They wrote it up from TikTok, where a lady shared the story of getting home and finding a 5-pound note at her house. Somebody put it through her mail slot, and no explanation, just the money. It's a mystery. Who would have done that? Later on, the lady goes to walk her dog, and when she gets home, she figures it out. Mystery solved. Her son had put up some Halloween decorations, some homemade drawings and artwork, and one of the things the son wrote, "If I scared you, please leave 5 pounds." And somebody did. Hey, what a great story to wrap things up. A fun Halloween story. Nothing about an app that predicts your death. Just a nice, wholesome Halloween story. And it involves free money. Somebody got some free money out of it. So that's going to do it for our Halloween special. I appreciate your listening. If you're new here, we're back to the normal format next week. Every Friday, we do a top 10 of the weirdest news stories of the week. You can get everything about our podcast and all the links we talked about and our social media links, everything if you go to shownotes.page. Just remember shownotes.page. Also, you can find a link there to Funhouse Radio. Every weekend, we're part of the broadcasting on Funhouse Radio. So, we'll catch you next weekend with more weird news.
Weird news.
On What a Weird Week.
Happy Halloween.